Hi, my name is Abel Gray Kantoma from GREYTEST Design Consults. On this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to use the basic measure tools and also the basic takeoff tools. So we'll go right into it. I will just double click on my Planswift and I'll allow it to load. All right, so we're here. I will quickly come to. So here now, the first thing we will do is to rescale this drawing, but we don't even have to go through the stress. All you need to do is just to try to do a takeoff automatically. The software will actually bring up a prompt and asking us to rescale the drawing. So if I try to take a linear measurement, or first what I will do is to create a new project. Let us create a new project and name it bedroom or 5-bedroom, for example. Propose residential development, something like this, and then you can just write down a note and then click next, just like what we did the last time. And then we finish. Okay, so we are here. I will come to this page. Now this is a fresh page. Now what I'm going to do is to try to do a little takeoff here. Let me go for the linear, for example. If I try to do a takeoff, you can see automatically it pops up this for us to actually rescale our drawings first, okay, which is very important. I want to talk on this. It is important you rescale it in terms of meters, okay, very important, because when you do your takeoff, you see the units are usually, if you are taking for area, is usually in square meters, okay. So it's important that you rescale your drawing in meters, okay. And then another very important thing you need to take off is the settings. For example, as it is like this now, if I rescale this in meters, then that means my text height, I'm going to show you all of that even as we proceed, very important. So we'll go to the settings after this. So now it's asking me for the span. What is the span from here to here? Now it's 3 meters, so I will type 3 and then I will press OK. Now if I take this from here to this point, automatically this drawing has been rescaled. Now if you look at this, I am going to cancel this first and then I will come back to my linear. Okay, there is a reason why I have to cancel it first. If you look at this now, you can see the height is actually a bit large. I can reduce it, probably coming from this settings. If I come to my settings here, it's important you also all the time double check this information, make sure they are actually in their right settings, okay, or else when you do your takeoff, the information may not actually be coming out as you expect it to be, because you can be seeing your unit in square meter, but your takeoff will be in square millimeter. Okay, so it's very important you do that settings right. So you can see this, that the text height is 1.7, so I can leave it at 1 and then I will click on OK. and then I will come to my dimension here, and then this I'll also change it to 1, and I'll click on OK. Now I'll come back to the home tab. If I try to measure this, you will discover that the size of this text will reduce. You can see it has dropped. Okay, so amazing. So this is basically one very key important part of your takeoff in Planswift. It's very, very important. It's literally one of the most important settings that you must do. Now, having done that, the next thing we need to do now is to actually do a takeoff. Now, like you can see here, we have measure, we have takeoff. Now we have been able to rescale this drawing. Now if I zoom this very well, you can see it's telling us that this is manually scaled. So you can do the preset one by checking using any of this scale here, but it's better you do the manually scaled. In most cases, sometimes probably your design may not be drawn to scale. Okay, so there are cases where some of the, most especially in your structural design, the structural detailing, some of the details may not be drawn to scale. So in that case, you have to do the manually scaled, or else whatever you are actually generating may not actually come out well, may not be the right takeoff. Okay, so you can see now here, the next thing I'm going to do is to do my linear. I can start with the linear or the area, however it depends on what I want to achieve. So but I'm going to quickly show you how to use this linear. You can see single click linear. So what this means is that when you just do a single click, it's going to give you that particular information. But I would not use this. I will come back to my linear here, and I will try to pick that of metric wall area. So if I pick the metric wall area, as the name implies, it is going to tell me this, give me the information of this wall in square meter. So now the height of the wall is very important. You specify the height of the wall, and then you specify the thickness of that particular wall. So if this wall is 230 thickness, for example, all I need to do now is to click on OK here, and then I will pick the first point, and if I double click on this point, it is going to end here. But if I click it just once and I move my cursor, you can see it's following me by just simply clicking once. Okay, so if I click, so however, wherever I want this to stop, if I will just double click on it, so you can see by simply just double clicking on this, it has actually tell me this, it has taken off this particular block work from this point round to this point. Okay, and it's telling me this is 59.6 square meters. Okay, so similarly, if you want to do for the linear cubic meters, that can also be achieved. All you need to do is to click on it. If you click on it, this menu is actually also going to pop up for you. Now I will just specify the height, and I can specify the thickness of this my block, and then it is going to be solid fill. And if I click on OK, now it's going to give me this information in cubic meters. So I will double click here. So you can see the information here that I'm getting is actually in cubic meters. So you can do this calculation manually to confirm what has been given to you. So similarly, you can do that for linear volume in cubic meters. is similar, all you need to do is just to click on it. So when you click, you can see the width here. You can specify what the width is, but if you don't know that, you can probably just type in the information you want to use. That's if it is not on this drop down, you can see already pre-existing information. Okay, and then you can specify the depth of this, let's say 230 by, let's say 300, and then I will click on OK. So let's say I want to take off from here now. Sorry, I think that is a linear cubic meter, linear volume in cubic meters. The width, okay, is in meters, which is 2.23. The depth is in 300. Okay, I think we are right. Then I will double click here. Now if you can see here, what I have now here is actually 0.1 cubic meter. So that is basically approximately 0.1 cubic meter. If you try to do this calculation manually to check the value of 0.23 times 0.3 times the width, which is let's say 9, you can see we have 0.06, so which is approximately 0.1, and you will be able to get this particular information. Now if you check very well, you realize we did a precision settings from here, which I specify that that it will actually be in precision of 1. So you can increase the precision if you want it to be in 2 or 3 or 4, however, in how many decimal places. You get the point. That's basically all you need to do. So you can do that from the settings here as well. So we have been able to talk about the linear metric wall area, linear cubic meter, linear volume in cubic meters. Okay, similarly for area, you can do that. You can see price per square meter. This single click is just like the one you have for single click linear. So if you just use that single click linear, all you need to do is just to click that point and it will give you, it will take off that particular. Left click, you can see it has taken off this place, but I always don't encourage you to use this, because in most cases you may not get a very accurate information. So it's quite similar with this one when it comes to that of area. If you use the single click, all you need to do is just to come to that particular area. So I can just click on OK, and I will just click. Once I click, it's supposed to pick the particular area. Automatically you can see it's giving me the area, but this is basically not what I want. It's not a very good this is the area, and you can see it didn't really capture everywhere. So it's way more, a bit more complex to use the single click, because you can see that there is a line here indicating that this is this is where this building was cut. This is a cross section. The cross section is taken from here. so it's now obstructing it from picking the whole area. So it's more better you use if you use the single click, it's actually not very accurate to use that of a single click. So I will encourage you, or I will rather advise that you use something better. But you can see we're able to use the single click and it has captured this one very well. Okay, so but you may probably not be very lucky to get this information at all time. Okay, so it's better you trace along the path where you want to capture. Okay, so I can simply just highlight it if I click this point, because whatever I take off here, it will always reflect at this point. Now let me show you something very interesting here. I can turn off this as a layer. If I, you can see this is a layer. I can even change the color. If I click on it, this color can be changed to something else. I can simply change it to a different color. I can as well change from here. You can see the color is changing, and I can turn this layer off. You can see it has been turned off, just in case you want to do a particular takeoff here and this is actually obstructing, so you can turn on and turn off that particular layer. So I will simply just highlight it from here, or I can as well highlight it from here and delete. So let me do this takeoff here properly and see what we can do about this. Now this price per square meter is going to tell you the price, the rates per square meter. So if I click on that price per square meter, you can see this menu that comes up here. What am I measuring for? I can give it a name. I can say this is let's say, and then the price per square meter could be maybe, let's say 200 cedis or 100 cedis or however. Okay, so if you know that particular price, you can put that information there, and then the markup, let's say 5%, and then once you are done with that, you can simply just, or you can come to this input to look. There are some other vital informations that probably you may want to add to your takeoff. As you can see, the information here, the currency here is showing in dollar. If I click on this drop down menu, you can see there are other informations here that could be used instead, and you can see the percentage here. I can change some of this information from here, and I can as well come to my advanced. If you come to advanced, you have a more deep information about all of this. From here you can generate your own template and create a template entirely different from probably a template you get, or probably a different template from the pre-existing template from the software itself, because the software itself comes with a template on its own. Okay, so you can do all that and rearrange it and then save it. So here I will just click on OK. I'm leaving every information just as it is. Now to do this takeoff proper, I can just go around this. Now if I click this, and I'll bring this here, and don't forget, if I want to end it here, I will double click. So once I double click, you can see that part has been taken off. Now you can see this particular area now is 9.2 square meters. So if you measure this now, you definitely be having the same information as what we have. So if I multiply 3 times 3.6, although this is in to in, okay, so this is in to in. If you take the measurement, definitely is going to be around 9.27. So our information is definitely correct. I can actually turn off this if I don't want. If I want to leave it on, I can leave it on, and I can also turn it off. Okay, so if I want to see the report here, I can just simply come to my report, so that I can generate the report for this. So if I come under my report, so if you come, you can see these are the information here. This is linear volume in cubic meters. These are all the takeoff that I have done today on this particular episode. So you can see metric wall area, price per square meter. This is the one I did lastly, and you can see what the price is here. But this one, the prices are actually not captured. So but this one, you can see in the long run you are going to be spending 194 1946.7. so if your currency is in naira, make sure this symbol is just there representing your currency, because from the pre-existing you see that that currency is not available. Probably in other versions they will most likely add them into the software. So this is basically how to generate this information on your Planswift. So you can see we have been able to do the linear takeoff and also the area takeoff. Now for the area takeoff as well, you can see we just did that for price per square meter. Now the volume in cubic, so this is another very important one. This one will have to do with like your slab. Okay, so the other one can be for maybe a site clearance. You're clearing a site. This one can be that for that of your slab. Okay, so you want to take off for your slab. The depth of the slab could be 150, and then the markup is 5%, for example, and then the price per cubic meter, let's say, is 200 Ghana cedis or 200 naira or whatever currency that you are using. Okay, and then you will click on OK. So to take off for this now, all I need to do is click first point, click the second point, then you click the third point, and you trace this one to this point, and you will double click if you want to end it here. So you can see we have gotten the volume of this particular concrete that will most likely be on this particular room. So this is how to use the measure tools and that of your takeoff tools. There are other very key tools that is important for you to actually understand. That of metric roof, we will go through it even as we proceed. This one is grid tool, just as the name implies, for grids. We will go through that as well, but let's come to our count. Now this count helps you to count probably the number of windows or the number of doors that you have that are existing, or columns, or the number of beams in your design. So however, if you want to do a manual count, you can definitely use this to achieve that. So if I want to count the number of my beams or my windows in this building, I can pick any of these. You can see from the drop down counts here. sorry, let me just click on OK and just select where I have those windows. And you can see as I'm clicking, it's counting. Okay, so basically here now I have 5 number of windows in this particular design. Okay, however, as you can see, all these counts, they come in different shape. You can see for plus, triangle, diamond, square, cycle. Okay, then we have the scaled count, we have the label count, single click count, and all that. Okay, so but however, these are the common one you may probably want to adopt, whether the square cycle count. It doesn't really matter, it's just for you to get a count. And you can change the colors. Probably we have just finished with that of our windows. Probably you want to take a count for your doors. You can simply pick and do that count for your door. It's very easy. All you need to do is just to click on OK, and you select now. You can see that from this now, that means we have up to 3 doors in this project. If you come under your count, you can see this is for doors, this is for windows. So you can simply just come to the property of this particular account and do some adjustments by naming them numbers of doors, of windows, for example. And then this one could be, click OK, this one could be numbers of doors, numbers doors. Okay, that could be done very simple, as you can see. Okay, this text height, let me change it to 0.5. Click OK. Now this is for my annotations. Okay, so this is basically from the settings. The settings of your annotation, you can use a value less than 1 so that it doesn't come out this big. So that is why, like I said from the very beginning, the settings you do here are very, very, very important. So you can see under your label settings is important. You can reduce, let it not be the same with your dimension settings. So the value for this now can be, let's say, 0.4. Okay, so if I click on OK, and I'll come back to my home tab. So you can see I have done that setting. Let's say we come back here and pick, do a simple takeoff again. Let's say volume in concrete, and then let's await this to come up. Okay, and then let's say the depth is let's say 200, for example, because there are cases where you may have different thickness of your panels, that is structural wise anyway. Then the price per, let's say, is also 200, and then the markup is 5%. And then here all I need to do is to click on OK. So if I click the first point and I click the second point, I will click the third point and I will double click here. Now you can see that the text actually fitting into the panel properly. It didn't come out very big, just like the way this one did initially. Okay, so these are some of the key information which I deliberately actually left it that way, so that you could see how all of this is being affected in your plan. So you can see this is how to use the basic takeoff tools in your Planswift. Okay, so these are the tools that you will most likely be using in most cases as you proceed in most of your designs. And most of the designs, these are the basic tools you use for your takeoff. And then, like you rightly know, your dimension tools and your scale tools are one of the key important tools as well. So in the next episode, I will be taking you through how to use the Planswift template, okay, itself, to do your taking off. All right, I will see you in the next episode.